It's my fourth time on YouTube in less than 24 hours, Sean.
Yeah, my couple in like 4 or 5 hours, and I know Tom and Tom's been making his rounds too. So
Yeah, yes, you see a third person on the screen. We got Tom from Tom and Tom Racing. What's happening, Tom? Yeah, mute, my man.
Might be having some technical difficulties.
Yes, you're having some weather out your way, right? Or you were anyway, no? Yes. Tom and Tom is kind of going a little bit digital on us. He's like Arnold Schwarzenegger in Total Recall.
Apparently he's reached his limit. He can't be on YouTube anymore today.
No, he can't be on YouTube anymore today.
We've been getting wacky storms here, so my power was in and out. So hopefully it's back on, the internet's on. So hopefully you guys got me.
Yeah, well, I don't need storms for things to be wacky around here. They just tend to be wacky. Unfortunately, it's sometimes good and sometimes bad. It just depends on the day, right?
Oh yeah, I hear you. Nice Friday night.
Yeah, we're here to talk about Delaware Park Race 9, the $400,000 Delaware Handicap, Grade 2. It's a mile and a quarter on the main track. Our man Tom spends a lot of time. He spends all of his day at Delaware, so he's here to give us his insights.
Well, yeah, thanks for having me on. No, this is going to be a really fun race. I think a lot of people are singling Bonnie South, but I think it's going to be a interesting race. There's a few horses that I like that I can get into, but you can. I'm a guest. I want to go first.
Yeah, we'll work our way through it. First, we usually go through some trends. Then we go through late pace setup, what the late pace is going to look like, and then we get into picks. But we know we brought you on because we know you're going to pick them 1 through 6 cold.
Well, yeah. If I was doing that, I'd be living on an island somewhere, not handy, not at Delaware Park on a random Wednesday, trying to hit a $50,000 allowance race.
Yeah, right. I've been there, done that too many times myself, so I know how that goes. So let's talk a little bit about the Delaware Handicap. The race has been around since 1937, originally named the Newcastle Handicap. And it was actually, I think, a part of their opening ceremonies or one of their opening days. So not only has the race been around since the track has been around, but it's literally one of the first things that they did.
Yeah. Back in '39 with Shanghai Lily, I believe was the first horse that won with that ever dangerous Roberto Donanzo in the irons.
Yes, I handicapped many a race with him, man. I'm the old man in the room, so had him on top, man. The one time I had the big ticket, that was my man. So if we look back at the last 10 races, we can find some interesting trends, I think. Let me just pull up some stuff here for everybody to read. Delaware Handicap. 7 of the last 10 winners were the favorite, and another 2 favorites ran second. So you have to make sure that you have your favorite on your ticket. And normally you don't like to do that, but it sure looks like Bonnie South, who's the morning line favorite. The trends say Bonnie South is going to be in the money, most likely the winner. In fact, the winners are such heavy favorites that the average winner, so 10 out of 10 times, the average winner paid 75 cents on the dollar, or was approximately 4 to 5 odds.
Wow. So that just if you like Bonnie South, that just seconds that and makes this horse going to be hard to beat.
Well, it's great for you, Sean. You like the chalk.
Yeah,
not all the time.
Dunbar Road last year was a feast with Irad in the irons, and I think that was maybe a 3 to 5 or something, if memory serves me correctly.
Yeah, maybe 30 cents or 60 cents. Yeah, so many of them under $1. I mean, it's amazing that, and like I said, the average for all 10. I think the highest winner was a 6.8 to 1 odds. So roughly 7 to 1 odds it went off at. Unbelievable. And then the next cheapest one was $1.10 to 1. So it's not it's not been a place to go cash big tickets. It's a race that you bet so you can win and try to get something behind it. At least it has been in the last 10 years. So as far as the pace, I know you said this year, Tom, that up front stuff hasn't worked at Delaware.
No, it has not. My buddy Mike, who writes for the Racing Biz, and we watched yesterday at the track. The first few races, whoever is leading off the rail, will not win. It's just nobody wants to lead. It's just an oddball thing that we're seeing this year at Delaware Park, and we've seen it. We've seen it at other tracks throughout the years. That nobody wants to lead. In fact, if you look at some of the times, they're dragging. I mean, we're really dragging because nobody wants that lead. Uh, it's just unbelievable. And the rail is popping this year. And I'm looking at your stats here. But right now, yeah, I did in my pick four actually. I have, I think, oddly enough, I have the one in every race in the pick four. But yeah, the rail is really popping this year at Delaware Park. So as far as track biases,
So the one's hot, but when you look at this race over the last 10 years at Delaware Handicap, I wouldn't say speed, but tactical speed has been the way, as 6 of the 10 winners were forwardly placed. Not necessarily, I think 2 went wire to wire, but the other 4 were second or third, just kind of off the lead. 4 horses came from off the pace. And as far as the post is concerned, in this particular race over the last decade, you can see every post from 1 to 7, with the exception of the number 2 horse, has at least 1 win. So the wins have been pretty well spread out.
Yep.
Is that the way it is at the track currently too?
No. It's not at all. But I mean, let's this is a unique race, and I like what you're pulling up, Rich, as far as this goes, and getting back to off the pace. Sean's Bonnie South has got some really nice late kick.
Mm-hmm. We'll talk a little bit about that in a second too. And if you look at the winners, 8 of the last 10 winners hit triple digits on the Equibase speed gun. So if you go to Equibase and you put the horses in, 8 of the last 10 hit at least 100 or more. And then in the race before that, 9 out of 10. So they're all in usually pretty good form, running hard. And 6 winners won their previous start, and then another 2 finished second. So 8 of the last 10 winners were either first or second in their previous start. So if you kind of look at the profile of a winner, you kind of want a favorite, someone who's close to the chalk, who is going to probably be forwardly placed, not necessarily on the front, and has raced really well of late. So that's kind of what has worked at the Delaware Handicap. I think basically pick the favorite and you've won 70% of the time. There's nothing wrong with that. As far as pace is concerned, Tom is saying that the early pace hasn't held up. I run my numbers, and Sean always laughs at me because they come out, it's completely different than how he handicaps them. And then when we watch the race, they line up almost exactly like this. So I have, according to my pace analysis, the rail Gibberish will have the lead, followed by Sarah Cosa, Miss Marissa, Final Cut. Bonnie South will be in that nice kind of stalking, patient ride place. Dream Marie and Queen Nikia. Either you guys see something different? Think I'm gonna laugh at me like Jose Ortiz?
I'd be shocked if Miss Marissa ain't either first or second, and really, she's going for the lead. So,
agreed.
Yeah, I think it's between Gibberish and number 6 Miss Marissa for the lead. We'll see if one goes and one doesn't, or if they both go. Because if they both go, they're both going to be in trouble, especially with a track that's not favoring speed.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, if it's not favoring speed, you don't want to be up front. But
yeah, but I think I think both of those horses, they pretty much have to go.
Well, probably be some combination
Marissa
of 1,
does.
6, and 4 in the front. All right, and then when they're coming down the stretch to come home, you had mentioned already, Tom, that Bonnie South has some really long, really great late kick. She absolutely has the best late pace numbers, followed by Queen Nikia, Gibberish. So of the speed horses, it looks to me like if you're going to take one, Gibberish has the staying power.
No,
you all agree, huh? Yeah. Silence is consent.
No argument. And again, and when we get into our picks, I'll talk about what I think is going to happen. But yeah, I don't have any arguments there at all.
Okay, so let's break down the field. Let's look at the race number 9, mile and a quarter, Delaware Handicap, grade 2, purse for $400,000. Fillies and mares. Here is Gibberish, one of the horses I think will be on the lead. Sean says maybe, if not the 6. What's your viewpoint on this horse, Sean?
Yeah, I prefer the 6, Miss Marissa, over Gibberish. The only thing I like about the 1 better is Trevor McCarthy, although I've always liked Daniel Centano as well, especially on a speed horse. They're both really good with the speed. This one was hard, especially one in the lead. I think From the Rail's going to be right there with the 6, like I said. I don't know how much staying power. I know you say she's got late kick. I had a hard time with this horse.
Well, third time off a layoff. Nice late pace figures here. How about you, Tom? What are you hearing on the track?
This was a tough horse. We've got saying before we aired, we got our prodigal son returning in Trevor McCarthy, who used to own Delaware Park back in the day. He's on 5 mounts. I had a hard time with this horse, like you, Sean. He was on my ticket. He was off my ticket. I don't think he's got the stamina to finish out this race. He's had a nice workout, razor sharp workout just on July 4th, but you look at his last race and he was beaten by a couple of scrubs. So yeah, I reluctantly took Gibberish off my ticket.
All right.
This is also the first time this horse is running at Delaware too, which is something I
Correct.
usually like to see, a horse that runs at least once over the track before.
Yeah, Mike Smith had mentioned that you should kind of pay attention to that too. That how they train, they usually run, and if he's not trained there, ran there, it's a little bit of a flip of a coin. I agree, but he did run some of the top speed figures last time out in the field, so maybe I think he's going to have a shot to be in the front, stay in the front. If there's a speed horse that's going to get it done, it'll be the 1 horse. Number 2, Queen Nekia, I think is the second favorite with Sheldon Russell in the irons. And looking at this horse is the one that I mentioned had the second best late pace figures in the field coming out of a grade 1. Second start off a layoff. Tom, what do you think?
I have this horse on my ticket. Goes against what we were just talking about, a track bias. This horse has never ran in Delaware, to my knowledge. But Sheldon knows this. Sheldon knows this track. He had a great day on Saturday with 2 stakes wins this past Saturday. I think the combination with he and Joseph, I like this horse's speed. It has a nice combination of that late kick that you guys know that I like. I think this horse can finish in the money.
Sean?
I didn't like the morning line at 3-1. If a 3-1 price, I'm gonna have a hard time taking this horse. It has won half its races at Delaware, winning 5 of 10. And the other thing is, this is another Safi Joseph Jr. trainee, so he gets both the best worlds here. He gets a leader and he gets a closer. So we'll see how that plays out. You might want to use him, but I have a hard time taking her to win at that lower price.
Agreed.
Well, when I look at the horse, it is dropping in class, at least in terms of purse. Last time out, ran for $500,000. This time's running for $400,000. So a little class drop in terms of purse money. Is making the second start off a layoff. Last time it made it a 2-race cycle. Big bump, second time off a layoff. And you do have one of the better jockey trainer combinations in this race. So if you like connections, it's a decent horse. If you like late pick, it's a late pace, it's a decent horse. If you like second off a layoff, typically improved, I think Queen Nakia is a one that you have to have on your ticket. Maybe 3-1, but in all likelihood, Bonnie South is going to take more money than the current morning line. And a lot of times when that happens, maybe one other horse takes money, but everybody else's odds go up. So maybe Sean won't be a 3-1 at post time. Maybe it's 7-2, 4-1.
My other thing that I look at a lot, and I know every situation's different, every track's different, but this horse lost to Gibberish 4 starts ago, and I know that was last year, and then last start lost to Bonnie South, and it wasn't even close. So that's something else I like to look at. A lot of times they tend to run the same way.
Herd ant mentality, right? The leader is the leader in the animal kingdom. Number 3,
Sure.
Dream Maria is a horse that's making its third start off a layoff, 2 turns across the Delaware track with a win and a second. Sean, what do you like about Dream Marie?
Well, the best thing I like about this horse is Joe Bravo. I know Tom can speak for this. I've seen Joe Bravo win quite a bit at Delaware, and actually everywhere he's been going lately, he's winning these big races when he's traveling in. So that's definitely a key point to me. He also likes Delaware winning 1 out of 2 and also getting second. So this horse could be dangerous.
Hey, Tom, what do you think about that?
I think Sean nailed it on the head. I saw Dream Marie in person last month at Delaware, winning the Obadiah with Joe Bravo in the irons, and Sean said it perfectly. I mean, he's no longer running in Jersey, so I'm calling him Delaware Joe Bravo. Joe had a nice win last week at Delaware with Yes This Time on the turf. He knows the track. He knows the horse. She's a beast, and she's definitely going to be on my ticket. And we go back to horses for courses. It's she knows the track. She likes the track. The jockey likes the track. I think Marie could win. But I definitely Marie is going to be on my ticket.
Mm-hmm. Well, she's one of the few horses in the race that won her last start by more than a length. Might be the only one in the field that won by more than a length.
The only one to win the last race, actually.
No, so the only one to win. How about that?
Yep. Yeah. She beat Marissa, which we'll talk about later. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and what I also like is that despite going from a mile to a mile and a 16th, the opening quarter fractions were a little bit faster, despite the added distance, and then ran a really strong race, closed it out pretty strong, and is one of the horses that has some of the best late pace figures. So I think she'll be one that'll be coming from off the pace, charging hard, and most likely will be a part of the exacta, the trifecta. Number 4 is Cosa. This is a horse that's also making its second start off the break. It's been around Delaware one time, finished second. Record is a little bit spotty with 21 races and only 2 wins. I'm not so sure that this is a horse that's going to do well, despite having the top pedigree in the field for the distance and surface. But recent form to me hasn't had one quality race in the last 4. None in 20. Well, the only one race in 2021 was not a good one either. So 1 win in the last 8 starts. Any chance that she can get a win here, Tom?
I don't think so. I crossed this horse out. It lost to Dunbar Road, oddly enough, almost exactly a year ago here at Delaware in the Delaware Handicap, and it wasn't that impressive. Even though she came in second, wasn't that impressive of a ride. I didn't really see how this horse could keep up with the class of the other horses in this race. I mean, it's got a very nice pedigree, but as people say, it was a throw out for me.
No, okay, Sean, did you threw her out too?
Yeah, the hardest part about her was where to put her in the pace scenario, but not on my ticket. Because it looks like sometimes she was closing, and then there's other times it looks like she was trying to get the lead and just died off from there. Mm-hmm. And then you know how I am with jockeys too. Nothing disrespectful to Emmanuel Escobar, but that's the worst jockey in this race as well. So there's nothing.
Agreed.
Nothing disrespectful, but I'll be disrespectful. I always love the preface, not to be disrespectful, but
no, I like this jockey, but at certain tracks and certain, there's a lot of talented jockeys in here. I don't think Emmanuel's going to be able to do anything special to get this 4 to win.
No,
he's not out jockey.
Yeah, Emmanuel doesn't know the track.
That's the other thing too. Yeah, I don't even know how many times he's been at Delaware. Couldn't be much.
It couldn't be much. And Florent Giroux, one of the top jockeys, is with Brad Cox. Those two love to work together, but their positive ROI has evaporated, but they still win at 28%. 3-2. I don't know, Sean. I don't think there's any chance Bonnie South goes off at 3-2.
Probably not. With you revealed all those trends. If nobody's gonna do research themselves, and then also this horse, just looking at paper and the pace and how everything's been, this horse is the best horse in the field. So something's gonna have to happen. Either somebody gets away, or this horse just has a bad trip, or this horse just doesn't want to run. But I think this is one of those scenarios you use this horse and put stuff behind it, or you single this and pick threes, pick fours, or if you like one other horse, you could go Bonnie South and say, okay, if this horse does get beat, it gets beat by one other horse.
You think anyone's going to beat Bonnie South, Tom?
I do, but we're talking Bonnie South now, and I'll get to the horse that I think that's gonna be on top. But there's not many bad things to say about Bonnie South. And if maybe I'm chasing the price, but Bonnie South will be on my ticket. Florent won here at the Delaware Handicap back in 2015, so he knows the track. He's not my favorite jockey in the world, no disrespect. I think he may be a little bit overrated, but I mean, Brad Cox.
And we were going to invite him on our show next week.
I have tried to get him on. He hasn't responded, but
I'm just kidding completely.
Well, he's French, But yeah, I mean, no, honestly, I'm. You can't really say many bad things about this horse. I mean, look at her losses. She lost to Swiss. She lost to some of the best in the biz.
And last race out is probably
yeah. I mean, she's the devil. She's a great horse. I'm going to try to beat her. She's going to be on my ticket, but I'm going to try to beat her.
There is one concern, and that's what I brought up earlier. She's never ran at Delaware, so if she doesn't like the track, there's nothing you can do about that. But
another concern for me is that she has a hard time stringing more than 2 races together. So that tells me that maybe so she can put 2 races together and then has to head immediately to the sidelines. And I don't know if that's too much wear and tear for her. So to me, that's the biggest concern, is that she's only strung back-to-back races together 2 times before needing to go to 3 times. And those were her first 6 starts, 2 on, 1 off, 2 on, a little time off. And since then hasn't been able to put 2 together in a row. This is the first time she's been able to put 2 together in a row as a 4-year-old. So that kind of worries me a little bit. But she did run the only horse in the race to run a last race speed figure above par for this level at Delaware. That's a pretty strong positive. Is dropping in class in terms of the purse money from $500,000 down to $400,000. So there are a couple things here. Top jockey trainer combination, hands down. You're really going to have to, I think, beat Bonnie South to beat Bonnie South. Bonnie South is not going to be beating herself.
Yeah, my brother Chad's commented and said about second-nitis on the 5, but we've talked about that. Look who she's losing to. So if those horses aren't in the race, she's winning those races.
I mean, Latruska right now is probably the best female horse in the United States. I mean, she's certainly acting that way. Miss Marissa actually did beat Bonnie South a couple races back at Pimlico.
That's right.
That was in 2020, but this is a horse that's going to be close to the front. Sean thinks it's going to be on the front. My pace analysis says Gibberish will be on the front. Sean, what do you think Miss Marissa is going to do in her second start off a layoff with some quick early pace in a place that doesn't work?
Yeah, see, that's the problem. I like this horse, and I would like this horse normally at Delaware, because Delaware used to play pretty good with speed. But the way it is now, it's going to be hard to play. But I do like this horse, and if you can get 6-1 or 7-1, it would be something I would definitely look at.
And you, Mr. Tom?
This is the horse that I think can beat Bonnie South. With Danny and the irons. Danny has been firing at Delaware. He is one of the hottest jockeys out there. He's always hitting the board. She beat Bonnie South in the Maryland Millions. East Coast bias here, so to speak. But I actually like Marissa to beat. I had the exact with Marissa and Marie at the Obadiah last month, but I thought I just love this horse. She is beautiful. She is like a gorilla. But I think Marissa can beat Bonnie South as she did back in October of 2020. Got a great dirt speed. And I think she had a really bad start, but she still finished a decent second in the Obadiah to Marie. So yeah, I have Marissa on top.
For me, a couple things I like and dislike at the same time. Here you have 3 consecutive speed figure increases, and I know this horse has taken some time off in between races. Another that struggled to put consecutive races together without heading to the barn. This is either a curse or a blessing, because that 4th race is usually a pop or a drop. So I'm a little concerned about the drop, especially since it's a horse that hasn't really put together back-to-back races a couple of times. When you look back in the past, the last time it ran a 2-race cycle, speed figure was the same from race to race, and then the one before that kind of tailed off a little bit. So I'm a little worried about that 3 consecutive speed figure increase, that instead of getting the pop, that we might get the drop. And then finally, I think the 7 horse is Final Cut. Did it make your cut at all, Tom?
It did not, no. There are just too many other talented horses in this race. Jamie Rodriguez is a decent, very good rider, as we're seeing at Delaware this year. But first time he is going to be on her back. Coming from Churchill Downs and Keelan, it's not a bad horse, but I don't see her finishing in the money.
How about you, Sean?
No, the hardest part about this horse as well was where to put her in the pace. As far as the ticket, she wasn't cutting it.
Yeah, I look at this last 2 races: 6 by 22, 8 by 12. A 3, you might think that that's a quality start, but 7.5 lengths back, that's not a quality start in my opinion. 6 by 5 3/4, 4 by 4 3/4, 7 by 15. I mean, this horse has not put a quality race on paper in its last 6. So it's going to have to do something that it hasn't shown it can do in the last 2 years. It's got 1 second and 1/3 in the last 1 win and 1 second in the last 12 races in the last 2 years. I don't think this horse has a snowball's chance to find the money at all. So now it's the moment of truth. We'll start with the host. I mean, with the guest, not with the host. With the guest. At the beginning of the show, we promised that Tom and Tom would line them up in perfect order. So he's going to lay it out for us right now. Who do you like?
I don't promise anything.
I promised it for you. USDA guaranteed.
My ticket, it will be Miss Marissa the 6, the 5 Bonnie South, and the 3, which is Dream Marie. That I'm going to do a 3-horse exacta, 3, 5, 6. And I'm going to try a 4-horse trifecta, 3, 5, 6, 2. I am putting Marissa on top.
All right, Sean, your turn.
Yeah, it's pretty similar. I'm going to go Bonnie South. I'm going to go 5, 3, 6, 2.
5, 3, 6, and 2. Well, I think we all agree on the 4 horses that are going to be at the top of the ticket. I got Bonnie South. I mean, when I went back and looked at how dominating the favorite's been in this race, and then you look at Bonnie South, the only concern I have is the inability to put 2 races back to back. I'm going 5, 2, 3, 6. Sounds to me like they're going to come in some order. It's going to be some order. Well, it's probably going to be the 1 and the 4 and the 7. They're probably going to be for sure make a trifecta box.
The 7's going to win by like 4 lengths.
At least it's going to roll back to the one good race it's had in 22. and we should have had it. If you look here, you see there's an angle back here. But anyway, so that wraps up our coverage for the Delaware Handicap. Tom, if folks want to follow you online tomorrow, where can they follow you?
Oh, Tom and Tom Racing. I will be at the track, and I'm excited. I'm going to be meeting Sean there. But yeah, I'll be running all over, posting pictures from the paddock like I usually do at Delaware Park. I'm their unofficial host. So thanks for having me on, fellas.
Thanks for coming on. Sean, you're going to be there tomorrow too, right?
Yeah, I've been to Delaware a few times. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've been to a horse track, probably, each year and a half, 2 years. I'm excited to get back, and Delaware is one of the most beautiful tracks there is. So,
Yeah,
and also, the quality, they're getting a lot better this year. I mean, this race didn't lead up to probably the hype, but they're getting a lot of better names, and track is just beautiful.
Well, we're hyping it right now. We're putting this one before the Belmont Oaks and the Belmont Derby. We went with the Delaware Handicap because we have the inside information with Tom. And then tomorrow, of course, if you go to Horse Racing Radar, you can go to the Facebook page now if you like this hat. I like it. It's comfortable. It's a nice color.
Nice.
You can go over there and pick some up, some merchandise from Horse Racing Radar. You can go over there too tomorrow, and we have a contest for $100 for the winners, free to enter. There's no strings attached. Tom almost won at Delaware last week. It was close. So go over and enter that. I'll be doing live commentary in between races. Hopefully, my microphone will turn off when it's supposed to turn off.
Are you going to be doing it from in between Delaware races?
I'm going to be doing it the Belmont races tomorrow.
Belmont, okay.
So yeah, in between 10 minutes to post, I come on, I run through every single horse, lay out some angles, lay out a lot of kind of what we did here tonight, lay out the pace scenario, but in a much more rapid fire kind of way. And then I make my picks.
You only have some time, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I give everybody the picks to fade, and then they know which horses are going to win. That's how I help people win the contest.
I got a horse in the Oaks. If you're interested.
Well, who is it? We're always interested.
The number 1, Cone Lima. I think my buddy Troy Johnson owns it. I think it's the best American horse in the race. And I like him sitting her, I should say, on the rail there. I think her last race she went off at like something like 12-1 with Pratt in the irons and had a nice win bet on that.
Yeah, I think I picked Conlima on the top of our ticket last night.
Yeah,
we had on Danny. I always want to call him Eric, but it's Danny Aragona who sets the line. Mm-hmm. So if you want to check out who Danny likes and why he likes it, the person who sets the line, we had a nice conversation with him last night. You can find that at Horse Racing Radar. You can find that on our Twitter page. You can find it on our Facebook page. Sean, if they want to find all that stuff, where do they go?
Facebook and Twitter, just search Horse Racing Radar. And then if you're not on YouTube, get on YouTube too. And you can subscribe to the channel. And every time we're live, we'll be there.
Yeah, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you hit the like button and the retweets and all that good stuff on Facebook, Twitter.
And you'll never get
YouTube.
You'll never get sick of seeing Rich.
Never. I mean, YouTube ubiquitous. I'm all over YouTube. At least on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Anyway. All right, folks. That wraps up the Delaware Handicap again. Thank you, Tom, for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And until we see you next time, good luck at the races.
Thanks, guys.